No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too. Still in bed at 10.
Good morning, BUHS. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2015, and it's a purple day.
Just a reminder that the blood drive is tomorrow, Tuesday the 17th. If you signed up last Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday and have still not contacted Taylor Bird, please do so ASAP. If you have not signed up yet but would like to, they still have some openings. You can contact her via email or go see her during lunch today. Please contact Taylor Bird as soon as you can. Spots do fill up quick, and it is a first-come, first-served basis. Now let's go over to Jake for our weather forecast.
Hello, BUHS. Today is Monday. We have a high of 48 and a low of 33. And then on Tuesday, we have a high of 46 and a low of 17, and it's going to rain. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Jake. Hey, BUHS, are you ready to rumble? It's down to the final four in the March Reading Madness in the library. Will The Fault in Our Stars edge out 10? Will Maze Runner beat Ready Player One? Check out the brackets on the library board and vote for your favorites today. Your vote counts. Round 2 ends this Friday, March 20th. Now, let's check out a really interesting clip that Colette made about BUHS fashion.
Hey guys! So with the weather warming up and the snow hopefully beginning to melt, it's becoming spring. Spring is one of my favorite seasons by far for fashion because all the designers are coming up with their new looks for runways. But more locally, I've noticed a lot of kids at Brattleboro in the hallways wearing denim shirts. Denim shirts are one of my favorite spring pieces. They're lighter than a jean jacket. They look great with skirts and dresses, and they're really good for layering on top of other things, which is really good in spring because the weather can be so unpredictable. So without further ado, here's my video on denim shirts. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye!
Thanks for that clip, Colette. Now let's go on over to Fira for our sports report of the day.
Things are just getting started. Get back in shape for all the athletes out there, and we're looking forward for the season. For national sports, the Kentucky Wildcats had a splendid time on Sunday. They won the SEC Tournament Championship on Sunday with 78-63 to Arkansas Razorbacks. And the NCAA March Madness begins on March 17. That's all we have for sports. Get back to the desk.
Thanks, Vera. The Green Mountain Boys State is a leadership laboratory for rising high school senior boys. The central focus of the program is Vermont town, country, and state government, and its organization, policies, and procedures. Delegates are elected and appointed to offices within the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of the government. They work on issues real to Vermont and debate and discuss these issues during the Thursday session at the State House in Montpelier, Vermont.
NEYT's production of Little Women, which features many BUHS students, opens this Friday, March 20th at 7 p.m. Shows run through the 29th, and you can buy tickets online at neyt.org or at the NEYT box office. Now, before we head on over to our ending clip, we'll, in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, celebrate with a little green. Happy St. Patrick's Day a little early. And now let's go on over to Emma for our special.
Hello BHS, do you like art? Then check out this clip of a local artist named Laura Jane Walker.
My name is Laura Jane Walker. The work behind me is the style of work that I've been making for the last 4 to 5 years. Each piece that I make kind of follows the same process where it starts by chance and then I use order and then finish with intuition. I drop coins. I've also done where I spill things, like I'd spill a cup of coffee, total random, and then let it dry. And so the stain that it leaves behind is at the beginning of the work. Nails around the edge of the stain, nails around the edge of the board, and then I work thread between those two borders. So the idea is that you can't control what happens, but after it's happened, you can control how you want to move forward. When I was about 13, my mom showed me the I Ching. It's a like 3,000-year-old oracle that's kind of evolved over time. It was funny, when I was doing my thesis, I didn't realize that my process mirrored the I Ching, and the I Ching is something that I've used since I was about 13, and it's something that it's kind of meditative, the process of it, and so whenever normally when you do it, you ask for guidance in something. And then you roll the coins and then you get an answer. And so you roll the coins, it's random, you look it up, that's kind of like the nail part for me. And then you get the answer, and the answer you can interpret however you want. When I was a kid, I got diabetes, and so that was something that I couldn't control. And so that's kind of started with this idea of like, no matter what happens, you can't control it, but you can control how you deal with it and how you move forward. So one thing that I like about the work that I'm doing right now is the process and me working on it is all very personal, but when it's presented to other people, it's abstract, so you can't really, it's not a projection of when I was a kid, I broke my leg, and it's not uber personal, but so like the dropping of the coins could also be interpreted as like the Big Bang Theory and like where things land, and then connecting all these things. Justin is my partner. He and I met in art school, so we're both artists. Justin and I moved to Vermont about a little over a year ago. A great thing about Vermont is it's very beautiful here. I feel like I'm really lucky. I've lived in some really beautiful places. I lived in New Mexico, I've lived in Oregon, and now I live in Vermont. Justin and I help each other a lot. He has helped me a ton. He helps me build my panels and cut all the wood. Those are all things that I'm not super confident with. Everything that I do, so my spills, only I could create those spills. Everyone else, every spill that you make is kind of your own energy, your own work. So I do believe that what I do is unique. Yeah, I do believe that, I don't know if I believe that everything happens for a reason, but I believe that everything that happens you can learn from. And even the really unfortunate things, it doesn't necessarily make your life better, but it can be an educational experience and something that you can learn from and hopefully help you to not have it happen again. Or if it did happen again, you'd be able to cope with it better. I guess it's mixed media. Sometimes I tell people they're wall hangings that are sculptural wall hangings. They're kind of like paintings in the sense that they hang on a wall, but they're also three-dimensional because they've got the nails and the thread, and then they've got the thread, so you call it fiber art. So really I just say mixed media. A benefit of the thread and a disadvantage, because once I cut it out, there's no history. Versus a painting, you scrape it away, you still kind of see where it's been, and it continues to evolve. This work, you can completely take it back. If everything comes too easy, it's not challenging and it's not fun. So it's good to do things that challenge you. As far as finding a career, I I worked as a hairstylist for a while, and I've done other things, and when things are just too easy for you, it's kind of boring. And so you want to feel like you're constantly being challenged and pushing yourself to work harder and go forward. I worked in my parents' attic for years. I worked in like my apartment, you know, so it's interesting when you start to push into like the more professional realm, and also having the confidence to be serious and make it a top priority. Interesting, I heard an interview with Morgan Freeman, and he was talking about that with his career as an actor, and he said he didn't ever have a fallback, and that if you have a fallback, you fall back. And I think it's really true. If you completely commit yourself, you're completely committed. And you know, like if you have a fallback career, so my whole thing was like, oh, I could always be a hairstylist. I was like, well, I don't want to be a hairstylist, so I'm not going to fall back on that. So if you don't have a fallback, you just keep pushing yourself forward. And so I spent years, especially right after college, where I was like, how long am I going to be a broke artist for? All my friends are buying homes, blah, blah, blah. And then I finally got to a point where I was like, this is what I chose to do. This is what I'm doing. I don't have to compare myself. Hopefully, eventually, everything will work out. My favorite thing about the art community in Vermont, I've met a lot of really great people. And it seems like it's relatively small, which is nice. So you meet a couple people, they know people, and I don't know, the lines aren't that long, you know. I mean, I get most of my stuff pretty locally. I get the lumber from here in town. I kind of want to say it's classy in the sense that it's old-fashioned, and I feel like things are well maintained. Like in Oregon, there's just some, and anywhere you go, there's just these little trashy towns, and I feel like Vermont, for the most part, is really sweet.
Thank you for watching BUHS TV.